Yo, 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 guys, welcome back. Hope everybody had a awesome little day off here in the markets. But hey, man, we're back at it now. Finding out there is a big piece to uncover here in this cycle that we love to look at, man, with Amy and the rest, man, the meme stocks. All right, so before I get started, as always, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Support the channel, man. And then also, real quick, all right, so we do have the Plotzy indicator on the Discord available now. There's also Discord plays, guys. There are Discord plays, awesome community, and there are some indicators on TradingView that you can use. These are cycle indicators that I made. All right, all this stuff is available on the membership for Ko-Fi. All right, so make sure you guys head on over there. You guys can pay what you want, or pay what you think is fair, right? Pay what you think is fair. And get on in there, man, and let's chart it up. All right. Okay, let's get to it. All right, so this video, we're going to be covering liquidity transfers in the markets, specifically stocks that experience high volatility, right? So every sector in the market typically has a basket of stocks that pump more than the average stock would, right? So depending on the sector, with memes in particular, you got a bunch of sectors combined in that meme basket, right? But there are other sectors in the market. For example, okay, we have Mara in this case. We're going to be using Mara as an example. We're also going to be using CGC. Okay, so these stocks that we're going to be looking at here, we're going to be tracking their rate of change, and right down below here, we split them up. So we got the memes, the green craze, and the crypto rush. So all of these have at least 5 stocks in that sector. Okay, in the meme sector, we put GME in there as well. And this is going to show us that rate of change over a set period of time. And this video is very important because we need to understand how liquidity is used in the markets. So again, we got the crypto rush in blue right down here. We got the green craze in green, and then we have the memes in red. Now, why is this important? We can definitely see a pattern here in the way that these stocks or these baskets are pumping and then dumping liquidity, right? We have sections, and you can clearly see this in the way that the charts are displaying, right? So we have the crypto rush. Pardon me. We have the crypto rush going first in this cycle, and we can clearly see that because the crypto has been pumping since October, right? We previously have a lot of volume coming in prior really to this almost ascending wedge that is developing here between all of these different sectors. It's crazy how it looks. But the crazier part is how liquidity is then transferred over into other sectors in the market. You can see here crypto pumps, and then once it's bottoming out here in the markets, you have the green craze, right? The cannabis stocks, they start pumping. Okay, and then right after that, you got the memes going up. Like it's almost like an order. And look at all these gaps, right? In between the charts, the way they play out. Now, this isn't something new again. We've seen this happen. We've seen this. Man, I'm sick. All right. I am sick. These allergies, bro, are killing me right now. All right. So we've seen this happen, guys, with Ethereum Classic Crypto in the past before, specifically with one cryptocurrency attached to it. They're very similar pattern on the macro for AMC, right? We've seen that happen. But we're talking baskets of stocks that are being used for liquidity. And that's a theory, right, at the end of the day. But with correlation, when there is great correlation, then the probability goes up. And this is why this is a big piece to the puzzle, because like what's going on here, right? Why is this liquidity being transferred? And at the end of the day, guys, everything in the market can't pump at the same time. So that's part of the reason why we see things happen the way they do. They take their time, they take their turn, but spotting this before things start to happen and play out is a big piece to this puzzle, because that's when we can narrow down and see, okay, well, what are the current market conditions? Are we getting ready to turn around? Again, I've been saying this over and over again on every video. But AMC, I believe, is getting ready to exit macro accumulation. Okay, so this is just macro accumulation getting ready to enter that re-accumulation stage. And we still have to be pointing up. Trajectory needs to be pointing up. These other stocks in the market are in a version of that, but they're ahead, because if you look at Mara, right, Mara is already in reaccumulation. It's basically getting ready to advance. There's other sectors in the market, guys, that also pump and have pumped before. One of them is Carvana. In that sector, I bulked in. That's the tech disruptors. I didn't put it on here, but it is one of the indicators that we use here, is going to show us this sort of sector curve in the markets that's happening and how liquidity is being used. But before, and that sector would be yellow, before all this happens here, Carvana, Upstart, Roku, all these guys start pumping before. Okay, and then again, liquidity is transferred on over for every single sector. So this is huge. This is big stuff here, guys. Now, let's go ahead and take all this stuff out. I want to talk about some of this historical evidence, man, because what's the best evidence? And data is historical data, as we've seen time and time again. Historical data is the best. Now, here is GME. All right, we got GME, we got SNDL, and then we have Mara again. So again, all these guys are in the same sector, in the same the crypto sector, the meme sector, or the cannabis sector. And then we'll pull everything up again. We got the crypto rush, green craze, and the memes. Now we take a look at a different pattern structure, right? The cycles are no longer tracking in the same order, but the liquidity is still being used pretty much the same way, right? We see GME pump here in August of 2020, right before it squeezed, right? It took a few months for it to squeeze. What was happening the entire time? We have this entire sector pumping, transferring liquidity on over to the green craze. They pump, they dump, and then they transfer it on over to the crypto rush, okay? And this is the crazy part, guys. With this kind of thing, I mean, think about the market makers and how they're using this liquidity. I mean, they're long in some positions and they're short in some positions. It's just this transfer here. It's almost like it really is. It's a never-ending cycle on all time frames, but it's like a cheat sheet, man. In the way that they're able to kind of hedge their positions, being long and short in multiple assets. So again, this is very important to track before run-ups happen, spotting where the correlation is, where you are in terms of it's being a race, right? Who goes first? And that was a video I talked about 2 videos ago with AMC specifically. It was just 2 assets we were looking at, not entire sectors, right? Again, I've split these up specifically into sectors that are into stocks that have a high correlation of pumping together. And that's why you have the cannabis, you have the crypto, and then you have the memes specifically, which the memes are pretty much a bunch of random stocks, right? Not specifically in one sector, but it's just how these guys are using that liquidity and then, distributing that liquidity on over to the next stock and so on, right? Okay, so with that, guys, okay, right before GME started to pump, right, we did have a period in time where pretty much all worlds were just trading together. Okay, you can see that right here. Nothing is really breaking out of the threshold. Everything is just tracking flat. And this is also something that we have to look at, because when markets start pumping, they start breaking out of that threshold, okay, that's where you start to experience this cycle thing that's going on, this liquidity transfer. And then after the liquidity transfer is done with, it's in no particular order, right? But once it's done with, if the markets are going to be trailing up, which they were here, then this period right here is very important because it's pretty much where the price remains flat for quite some time, for a few months, before it starts to exit and go back, and essentially all of these stocks squeezed, right? All of these stocks can stay squeezed to a range. Specifically, the memes here were the winners for 2021. But prior to that, what did we do? We accumulated, we entered reaccumulation, and then advancing. All of them went to advancing right after this. So we go back to AMC and the rest. And what do we see right here, guys? Okay? Because this is right now, right? This is what's happening right now. We see the liquidity. We've spotted the liquidity transfer cycle. Very specific cycle going on here. We've spotted it. And based on correlation, again, no particular order, but based on correlation, if this is reaccumulation again, then it would make sense that everything starts pumping again. Where are the markets at right now? They're pretty much at all-time highs, right? So what are they going to do? They're not just going to come crashing down. When markets are trading at all-time highs, that gives the opportunity specifically for the small mid-cap stocks that have a lot of volatility to start pumping. Why? Because when the markets are trailing in that range, they're going to trade sideways up there before they start coming down. And right now, SPY is at an all-time high. NVIDIA is at an all-time high, right? All these big blue chip stocks are at all-time highs. And what are these guys doing? They're not there yet, right? So this is why it's important, guys, that we look at stuff like this. Because, correlation is key. And it's a probability game here, guys. It's not about, guessing or anything like that. It's a probability game. And that's what this channel is, man. It's all about correlation and probability. So, taking a look at all that stuff, guys, I hope that this kind of clears some things up. Makes sense, right? But throw in some questions, man. If you have any questions on this, throw them in the chat. All of this is the same approach we take on the Discord. And pretty much everything that I talk about on Twitter, man, all has to do with this approach. So ask away, man, and I'll be happy to talk about that, man, on the live streams and all that good stuff. So that is it, man. That is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, come check us out, man. We'll see you on the next stream. Bye-bye.